In this lecture, we're going to begin moving the enemy along the spline. For this action, we're going to move the enemy with the move method. Throughout the course, we've been using the set destination method to move agents. However, this method will not suffice for our scenario. The reason is simple. We have custom paths with straight and curved lines. The set destination method does not allow us to configure the path generated by the AI. To have the most control over the pathing, we must manually move the agent. The move method is perfect for this scenario. Let's get started. Open the patrol state file. Next, let's scroll to the update state method. As we know, the move method expects a vector with a direction to move the enemy. However, we don't have a direction. The only thing we have is a new position, which is not accepted by the move method. Therefore, we must calculate the offset before passing the vector to the method. Performing this calculation is easy. We can subtract the enemy's new position from their current position. Sounds confusing? Let's write the code to see how it works. Below the calculate position method, let's begin moving the agent. The order does matter. If we move the agent before calculating a new position, the agent might remain in the same position. Calculating a new position should always be done first. Let's create a vector variable called current position. This variable will be set to the enemy.transform.position variable. Next, create another vector variable called new position. This time, the variable will be set to the enemy.patrolComponent.getNextPosition method. Lastly, create one more vector variable called offset. Its value will be the following: new position minus current position. Let's review the code. As the names imply, we're grabbing the enemy's current and new position. We can calculate the direction the enemy should move toward by subtracting these vectors from one another. This simple trick should move the enemy in increments. Now that we have the offset, let's call the move method. The agent component is accessible via the movement component. Let's open the file for this component. At the bottom of the class, define a public method called moveAgentByOffset. This method will accept the offset as a parameter called offset. Set the type to vector3. The last step is to call the agent.move method with the offset variable. Great! We can call this method from the patrol state. Below the variables, call the enemy.movementComponent.moveAgentByOffset method. Pass in the offset variable. The enemy variable has access to the enemy controller component. Through this component, we're accessing the movement component, which has access to our method. After making those changes, the enemy should start moving along the path. Let's head over to Unity and play our game. After a few moments, the enemies start making their way to their respective paths. Upon arrival, they start moving on the path. It doesn't matter if the path is straight or curved. They're accurately moving along the path. There's just one problem. They're moving too fast. That's perfectly fine. In the next lecture, we'll start adjusting the speed of our enemies.